It was like, what is the worst bit? Is it to be in this much pain when the kids wake up and they see me in this much pain, or is it to be gone?
Yeah.
And I thought it's better to be gone, to be honest.
Yeah.
So we had to ring an ambulance.
Welcome back to the Life on a Stick podcast, a podcast about how we're living life to the full amidst battles with cancer, living in a van and doing our best to raise two half-decent kids. My name's Tom.
My name's Malin.
And for us, living life to the full doesn't necessarily mean adrenaline and extreme sports, but rather learning to appreciate the little things in life and trying to see the positives wherever we can. Tell you what, it's October.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? October already.
Yes and no.
Yeah, it's flying. It's gone so fast.
Yeah. It always does though, don't it?
I was thinking about this the other day, that when we first started doing this podcast, when we started doing the video version of the podcast, at the beginning of the podcast, it was completely bright outside. And by the end of it, it was still pretty light. Like it wasn't completely dark.
Yeah.
And then if you watch them all the way through, it's like getting darker and darker as we're going on, because we start at about the same time every evening.
Yeah.
And as you watch them through, they're getting darker and darker as they go on. And now we're starting, and there's not a shred of light left now.
No, it's dark, very dark.
We've not started it any later than we normally do.
No,
and it is completely pitch black outside now.
very dark and getting cold. The first few episodes is sweating.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had to open windows to not get too hot in here.
Yeah.
And now it's we can't have the heater on when we're recording because it's too loud.
Yeah.
So it's have it on full.
Pump the heater on full blast for 10 minutes before we start. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's just a completely different thing now, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're in hoodies and stuff.
Yeah, it's cold now.
I've got my slippers on even.
I know, look at you.
It dropped down to 4 degrees in the night last night.
Yeah.
It's going to snow soon, I think. It feels like it. It's I think within the next couple of weeks, we'll see some snow.
I don't think so.
Don't you?
No.
Should we do a bet?
Yeah.
I think today, on the day of release, this is the 1st or the 2nd of October or whatever it is.
2nd.
I think by the 20th of October, we'll see snow.
Okay.
That's less than 3 weeks.
Yeah. Okay, I bet you're wrong.
I probably am. You know this country's strange weather systems better than I do, but it feels like it's getting cold enough to snow a little bit almost. 4 degrees in the night.
Yeah. It is cold, but I don't think it's snow.
No, it'll be. I tell you what, it'll be in a couple of weeks' time. It'll be shorts and t-shirt and flip flops again.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what this country normally does, isn't it? It throws your curveballs all the way.
Yeah. It? All right. Well, what do I win if I win the bet?
I don't know. What are we? We can't bet money because we have.
My money's yours.
joint economy, so that doesn't really work, does it? I don't know. What do you want to win?
I don't know. I just think that honour is a boring thing to win.
I'll tell you what. If you win, we'll get a babysitter for the kids and we'll go out and I'll treat you for a night.
With my money.
And if I win, we'll get a babysitter for the night. We'll go out without the kids and you'll treat me. How's that?
Oh.
How's that for a slice of fried gold, eh?
Well, that sounds like a good deal, actually.
Bit of a win-win, some might say.
I was just going to say.
We touched on it a little bit last week, I think, but October feels weird for us, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
it's so mixed emotions throughout the whole thing, because October, we've got a lot of birthdays, and sort of since we've been together, October's been just about celebrating birthdays, really, hasn't it?
Yeah. Honestly, it's an insane amount of birthdays.
And then over the last few years, it's been less about celebrating and more about just bloody getting through it.
Yeah, I think it feels a bit weird to look back to, because it started obviously 2 years ago. And first it was mine and Charlie's birthdays. But then, a couple of days after Charlie's birthday, we went to pick up this van.
That was October, yeah.
Took the train throughout half of Sweden.
Yeah, or across the other side of the country, over to the west coast, yeah.
And picked this beauty up.
Yeah.
It was such an exciting day.
It was. It was still mixed emotions though, even then, because even on the way back from driving it home, you were still struggling with symptoms, weren't you?
Yeah, I was quite poorly and I was so tired. I think that was when it hit me. I was like, how can I be this tired when we just sat on a train all day?
Yeah.
And I was exhausted.
Yeah.
But then I thought, we've been super excited and it's been so much fun and all of this. So then we were super happy. I can remember the day after we bought the van. Well, the day after we picked the van up, because we had bought it earlier that week or whatever it was. And the kids were so excited. So, like, didn't even get dressed in the morning. All of us just went out in our PJs and had breakfast, like, made breakfast in the house.
Oh, yeah.
And went out and sat in the van in our PJs and had breakfast.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah. That must have been, we were at the house, were we?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I can remember yeah, of course. I'll tell you where we were. We were on just a school car park, just parked around the corner, weren't we?
We couldn't fit it anywhere else.
No. Yeah, no, exactly, you're right.
Because it was weekend, we could park at the school car park.
Yeah.
So we went and had breakfast in the van.
Oh, yeah, cosy.
In just our PJs.
Yeah,
and it
in
was
October, freezing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No heating, no nothing.
No.
And
Yeah,
we were just
cool.
so excited.
We were, really, really were.
And that was like a Saturday or a Sunday. And on that Friday, I had the doctor's appointment,
The following Friday, 5-6 days later. Yeah. So, because I remember us saying we didn't even get a weekend with it before doctor's appointment started.
Yeah.
For those of you wondering what on earth we're talking about, you also got a cancer diagnosis.
Yeah.
What was it, a couple of weeks after we bought it? Also in October, the end of October, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So 6 days after we bought the van, I went to doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
Where everybody before had said that it's fine, you don't need to worry, basically. So we went in thinking, well, I went on my own even because everybody said it's fine. So we're like, oh, I'm going to get like an allergy or whatever they can find. It's not going to be anything major.
Yeah.
And it was major.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's about as major as you could possibly get, really.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I could feel halfway through that appointment that it was like, oh, crap.
Shit, I should not be here on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was on the 20th of October.
Yeah.
And they said, well, we can see a tumor-like
growth.
And now it's going to start, basically. Like, they didn't tell me I had cancer, but they basically told me I had cancer.
They basically told you to buckle up, didn't they?
Yeah, they were like, it's going to be a long journey from now. We're going to do the best we can, so just hold on, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's when it all started. That's when it went, like, pause, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then 10 days later, I got the cancer diagnosis. They found a 10 centimeter big tumor.
Yeah.
In my intestines.
Yeah. Also in October.
Yeah.
So that was the start of it. That was an intense month, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then the October after that, it seems like a lifetime in between those two things. October 22 to October 23.
Yeah.
Feels like a bloody lifetime.
It felt like it was 10 years between that.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been. You'd been through all of your cancer treatment. You'd had 2 major operations. You got a stoma put in. You got chemo, radio, everything you can possibly think of. You had during that year.
Yeah.
And you'd actually started recovering quite well by then. By the next October, we thought. Until that month, you got admitted to the hospital, didn't you? Again.
Yeah, because that was also like a bit backstory was that I had gone in to the hospital quite often because of stomach pains. And
I suppose not the strangest thing, like battling stomach cancer, bowel cancer,
No, exactly. And I'd gone in quite a few times with really, really bad stomach pains. I'd gone in by ambulance once or twice even. And again, everybody's just been saying, it's fine, you don't have to worry. And then in October, early October, that was last year.
Yeah.
I had those pains and you and my mum made me go in because I refused to go back in again.
Yeah.
Just as I do.
Yeah.
And I had like an infection value over 300 or something.
Yeah.
It should be below 5.
Yeah, we've mentioned it before, but it was about 10 or 11 episodes ago, I think, so we'll say it again. Because I think it's quite a funny thing. Basically, because you'd asked them, could it possibly be because, my kid's got a cold, I might have a bit of, the flu sort of thing in my body. Is that a possibility? And they basically went, no. Your infection value, if you've got a cold, can be up at like 80, maybe if it's a bad cold. If you've got the worst flu of your life, COVID, bed-bound, you can be up at over 100, maybe. Yours is 300.
Yeah.
Like, no, you have not, there's something wrong in your body. It's not a cold. So, then you got admitted, didn't you? And then you were in hospital for your 30th birthday.
Yeah.
You were let out on like probation, weren't you?
I was, exactly.
To go and eat some cake.
Yeah, exactly. like the day before maybe was, they let me start eating again.
Yeah.
Luckily, which was nice. Because they didn't know if I needed another surgery. I wasn't allowed to eat for like 3 or 4 days. It was ages, wasn't it? Where they just gave me like drip and nutrition drip and whatever. And they said like, you can't eat or drink, basically. So luckily they told me I could start doing that the day before my birthday, so I could go home and eat some cake at least.
Yeah.
But I had to,
good times.
Yeah, I had to be back in at 7 a.m. to take blood tests.
Yeah.
But then I was done for the rest of that day.
Yeah. And the reason you got to stay in so long, we've talked about this before, so I won't go far into it. You can go back and listen to the whole story if you want. We've got a full cancer episode, haven't we?
Yes, but we talked about like episode 3 or something, maybe.
Yeah, it's episode 2, I think. Yeah, you're right. That you got given something that you're severely allergic to.
Yeah.
So, fun times, all in all.
It was good. So I came in and they thought that I could have a sepsis.
Yeah.
And when they realised I didn't, they tried to kill me.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Just all round good faith in the hospital and the healthcare system, don't we?
Yeah.
But it's not all dark clouds and negativity about October, is it? Because in that very same month when you got out of the hospital, what else did you do?
We moved out of the house and into the van full time.
Yeah. 3 months previous, we'd sold our house that we owned.
You say 3 months, it was 6 weeks.
Was it 6 weeks? Yeah, of course it was. We did the whole thing in 6 Yeah, of course it was. That was sort of the old story, wasn't it? That we managed to do the whole thing in 6 weeks. Yeah.
Or 7. Yeah, wasn't it?
It was
6 or 7?
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, of course it was. 6 weeks previous to that, we sold our house and made the decision to move into the van full time.
Yeah.
That was October last year.
Yeah.
Which means that this month we will have been living in this van for a whole year.
Yeah, we moved out on the 14th, I think.
Yeah,
15th.
there you
maybe.
go. Crazy. Full-time van lifers.
Yeah.
Living in a van with 2 young kids for a full year.
Yeah.
Bloody achievement that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Gold
but look
medal.
at us now. Look at them rings under your eyes.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I didn't have them before.
I don't think the van life is bringing extra bags. I think it's our life in general, to be honest.
Yeah, it probably is. You're probably right.
We were talking about this the other day because it's like most people maybe wait until it's calmed down a bit in life before you, say, throw yourself into a new company and start to build a company from scratch, or before you quit your job, or before you sell your house, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But we just dive in, and some days we can really feel that we just dive in.
Yeah. What on earth are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, some days it feels like pissing into the wind, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, we could have waited. We could have taken it a bit easy for a little bit. Milked the sick leave or something, I don't know, for a bit. But no, we decided to start up our own company. And starting up a company, it turns out, is hard work. I don't know if anybody knew that.
No. And I don't know what we were thinking. We knew it was going to be hard work, but I think that maybe we thought that I wouldn't still be this poorly.
Yeah, maybe. I think it was more a case of the fact that all these things needed to go hand in hand for us to live the life that we live. We couldn't really have proper jobs, and therefore we needed to do something for ourselves. Plus, it was always my goal to work for myself. So I think I was a bit...
It's always my goal for you to work for me as well.
Oh, you work for me. I own 50. Let me tell you, I own 51% of this company. If anybody works for anybody, mate. Yeah, but I think we were we jumped the gun a little bit. But look, it's going to work out in the end. We just we're going to get through it.
Yeah,
we're already seeing progress, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's quite exciting, actually, speaking about that, because I just realised, because it's October, that means I'm full-time in the company now.
Yeah, this is the first time. First day. High five. You're officially... You're employed.
Thanks, boss.
Yeah, this is the first month that you're officially full-time in the company, isn't it?
Yeah.
Scary. Terrifying prospect, that
It
is.
is terrifying.
Especially when you have dealt with the accounting. No. We're doing all right. And I think it's exciting, actually.
Yeah, it feels fun. It feels really fun.
Definitely. On a completely unrelated note, head on over to malinandtom.com/shop and have a little browse. See if there's anything that you might want to pick up.
Yeah.
Little cuddly toys.
I'm working on beanie hats.
Yeah.
We said about purses. Sorry, everybody's waiting. They're coming.
There's a few people waiting for purses.
It is coming.
Don't get too
coming.
disappointed.
No, it is coming. But because it got so cold,
yeah,
I better start working on some beanie hats.
I tell you what, those kids' beanie hats are fantastic.
Yeah.
You've smashed that. And mine is...
I'm working on yours, but you've got such a fudging big head. I was like, I thought I would be done. I was like measuring yesterday. I was like, all right, just a couple of more centimetres. And then every single time I tried it on you, it's like, your head is growing.
It's growing by the centimetre, like, per hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for that. Self-esteem and all that.
Yeah, you do got a big head.
Apparently so. Yeah. So, first sizes up on the shop are going to be extra large for no particular reason. It's either going to be XXXL or extra small because they're the ones that you've done for the kids.
Yeah. They go faster, so order extra small, please.
No, they're looking good. It'll be nice to get those out for the cold winter months. You're also working on some Christmas stuff, aren't you?
I am. That's also, I got one done. I need at least one more before we can take pictures.
Yeah, mug warmers and stuff. So,
just not
basically, loads and loads of new stuff coming soon, which is dead exciting, isn't it?
Yeah. I just need to work harder.
Yeah, well, no, it's not about working harder, is it? It's about finding time for stuff.
Yeah.
That wasn't meant to be like an ad pitch, by the way. It was just a joke to sort of get into it. But now we are talking about it. We have got loads of stuff coming up. So make sure you go over to malinandtom.com and sign up for the newsletter.
Oh, yeah.
Because we've got, the newsletter should be coming out around today-ish, we hope.
Working on it.
We're working on it. So make sure you sign up there so you can keep up to date on all the new stuff coming. You also get a little 10% discount code for the shop.
Oh, yeah.
When you sign up. So
that's good.
Go and do that.
Go and do it.
Yeah. Shall we have a little look in the stick box?
Oh, yeah.
We mentioned the stick box last week. If you go to malinandtom.com/podcast, there is a little form in the shape of a box called the stick box. And you can basically leave us a little message, leave us a question, ask us to chat about a particular topic, big or small sort of thing.
We should have the jingle for this.
Yeah.
Should be sticky, sticky, stick, stick.
Oh, if you've ever watched Hey Dougie. If you've got kids and you've ever watched Hey Dougie and you've seen season 3, episode 27 of Hey Dougie called
the stick badge.
The stick badge, yeah. Then you'll know the stick song, and I feel very sorry for you because it alters your mind.
Yeah, and thanks to your mum, we had a toy with that. So every time the kids pressed it, he went sticky, sticky, sticky.
Yeah, the full song.
Full song.
Cheers, Mum.
Yeah, thanks. That's the only time you can give gifts like that is when you live in a different country because you don't ever have to hear it.
4,000 kilometres away. Yeah. So our good mate Carla has left us a couple of comments. These ones were from YouTube, actually. The first one being, will you be upgrading to a larger van when Charlie and Bella get older to continue your travels/summer travels? And that's something that we've talked about back and forth quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I am still really fancying buying like a school bus, like a big Mercedes Vario school bus.
Yeah.
And doing that at some point.
I do. I really, really fancy it. But also feel like we got so many dreams at the moment of building and renovating and doing things. And I just don't know if we're going to, just how little time we got. We were just saying that. I don't know where we should put our energy.
No.
But if I just look at, do we want one? Then yes.
Yeah, we do. We'd love one.
Yeah.
We'd love one. We've said a few times that this van's starting to feel small in some ways. In some ways, it's perfectly fine. But like, for example, the kids' beds, we're rebuilding Bella's part of the bed before we leave for the travels this winter, aren't we? Because that's getting a bit small. The kids are going to be growing out of that. So yeah, like I would love to buy a big bus and build it from scratch and do it amazing.
Yeah, I do.
But as we talked about next year, Charlie's starting school in October and we are looking for maybe a bit more of a base, aren't we? At the moment, the dream, the goal is a bit of farmland and renovation project cabin, maybe. We've also been quite inspired by our mates who've got a tiny house, haven't we? So there's all sorts of stuff that we've got on the to-do list / wish list, and maybe a big bus is a bit further down that, isn't it, at the minute?
Yeah, like I don't know, because I feel so mixed. But it's also like, yes, I would love a tiny house. But if we get a tiny house, then we don't need to build anything. Then we can get a big van, a big bus, and we can renovate it, because it's going to take us ages to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we're not stressing with anything.
Yeah.
Then it's just to start doing that and let it take as long as it takes, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a fun, really fun prospect, isn't it? It's a really fun thing to think about. But it might happen in a few years rather than, anytime soon. Maybe.
Yeah.
One thing that I can't see happening is I can't see us getting rid of the van and not having anything.
No.
I think what we will do is we will have this van until we're ready for an upgrade, won't we?
Yeah.
I can't see us not having a vehicle.
No, I
like
can't.
This.
And when I look in our van now, it's like, yeah, it's cozy, but I feel like it's always a mess.
Yeah.
It's always messy at the moment. Yeah. And I remember feeling like this last year when we moved in as well. It's because you need so many more extra clothes and stuff when it's getting cold, and you need more shoes, and you need all of this. And also because we've had quite a lot of orders, and they also had a big sale on yarn. I might have bought a lot of yarn. They were just moving around in bags in here right now.
The yarn storage needs a bit of rearranging, doesn't it? A bit of reorganising.
So right now it just feels like it's a mess in here. And then I look on Instagram and on other social media where I see people with these buses that you're talking about. And I'm like, oh, it looks so big. The kitchen is so big and
so much
storage. And then I really dream about it. Because right now when I look around me, it's like...
It's a shithole.
Yes.
Yeah, an absolute shithole. But like you said, it's really hard in the autumn / winter. There's hoodies everywhere. There's shoes everywhere. It's not the same. We don't live in shorts and flip-flops anymore, do we?
No.
So it's inevitable, isn't it?
Yeah, it is what it is.
And then Carla also said, would love to know why marriage isn't in the works. And all we can say to that is stay tuned. Yeah, I'm not even going to answer that in any more depth, actually.
No, you should just see what happens.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Possible big news coming soon. All right, that leads us nicely onto our everybody's favourite segment. This brand new segment that we've got called...
Drive me a car.
She's not. You're joking with me now, aren't you?
I am.
You are. Go on, what is it?
I actually don't know.
No, come on. You've had 3 weeks now. Right, as 51% owner of this company, right? you're getting a warning.
Well, that 1% means that you have to read the title.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
1% extra in the company means 1% extra responsibility, I suppose.
Yeah.
The responsibility of remembering names of segments is a part of that, I suppose.
Like, you should be lucky I remember your name. That's how bad my brain works at the moment. So
it's fair.
I think you can't call me out too much on this.
No, it's a fair point. I'll take that one. It's everybody's favourite segment. It's called Give Us a Lift. In this particular segment, both Malin and myself bring something to the table that we found motivational or inspirational or, something that's uplifted us over the last week. Whether it's something we've seen on the news or on Instagram or something that we've seen with our very eyes. Just something that we've found positive or uplifting in some way. Do you want to start?
Yes. I feel like we touched on this subject a little bit already because the algorithm has found me.
Okay.
We are talking a lot about what we're going to do next year when Charlie starts school, and then we're going to come back and what we're going to do then and what are we going to do to not get us bored when we can't travel anymore. And we have decided that we are looking for a small house or a tiny house or a little cabin or something on a lot of land, if we can manage to do that. And that our days are going to be like, what can we grow? What can we do ourselves? Be a bit more self-sustainable and just do everything ourselves. And the algorithm has really found me.
Okay.
And it gets me so inspired.
Yeah.
I watched this girl and she don't got a massive garden. She got like quite a small garden, but she only grows stuff for herself. Like she's on her own, and then she's like, does like reels where she's like, come harvest with me. And she got so many things.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And she got all of these different machines. She's got like not just a normal freezer. She got like a freezing department.
Okay.
Where she, I don't know what it is, but she puts it in there to freeze her vegetables in the right way.
Okay.
So they're treated right, so she can save for ages.
Yeah.
And then she's like boiling them, and then she's like putting them into different jars in like, one of these.
Like pressure cooker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's for preservatives, isn't it? You put your stuff in a jar, pressure cook it, and it becomes sealed, so it keeps for a long time.
Yeah, she makes her own spices.
Yeah.
She makes her own tea. She gets her own sponges from the garden.
Yeah.
I was telling you about this, wasn't I?
Yeah. Loofahs, I think they are.
And I just get so inspired. I can watch her reels for hours.
Wicked. What's her name? Give her a little shout out.
It's Brie Ellis.
It's Brie Ellis. Yeah, there you go. If you're into that sort of stuff, harvesting and farmland and whatever, self-sustainability, it's Brie Ellis. Massive shout out. Wicked. I'm gonna have to go and have a little look. Brianna Ellis is her name. Wicked. I have to go and have a little look at that, because it's all stuff that we've talked about, isn't it? That's basically everything that we've talked about for, in a year's time when we're done with travelling.
Yeah.
And when we're done with the other miscellaneous big events that are happening next summer and stuff. It's all stuff we've talked about. Self-sustainability, harvesting, growing stuff, making our own spices.
Everything. It makes me so inspired.
Yeah, I feel really motivated with stuff like that. I'm looking forward to that. It feels like a good progression, doesn't it? It feels like a natural next chapter for us after this. Because it's something that we talked about even before we moved into the van, being self-sustainable and being excited about being able to grow our own stuff and things like that.
Yeah.
Can't do any of that in a van.
No.
So it does feel like a nice, natural next step.
Yeah. Speaking about that, her latest reel, do you know how many sweet potatoes she harvests?
Go on.
17 pounds.
17 pounds of sweet potatoes. That is a lot of sweet potato. What's that? 8 kilos, something like that. That is.
I just thought about it because in our, I don't know, first, second or third episode, you were like, oh, I want to grow something a bit more like sweet potatoes.
Yeah, I did, didn't I? I've got a thing about sweet potatoes, right? I love a sweet potato, I do.
That's what I just thought.
Yeah, wicked. I love it. We're definitely planting sweet potatoes. I didn't even know you could grow them in Sweden. And
no, she's not from Sweden, obviously, so I don't know if you can.
True, yeah, true. But if there's a will, there's a way. And there's definitely a will for sweet potatoes, I'm telling you. My inspirational, uplifting bit from this week is actually probably on quite a similar subject, really. I have been really motivated and uplifted over the last week since we came back from visiting our mates at the alpaca farm. So for those of you who follow us on YouTube, you'll have seen in our last video, we went to visit some friends that we met in Tenerife, and they've got an alpaca farm just south of Stockholm, a couple of hours north from us. And we went and spent 3 days with them, didn't we?
Yeah.
A couple of nights and whatever. And the amount of motivation and inspiration we got from that trip, honestly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So they are really sort of inspirational people just in and of themselves, aren't they?
Yeah.
We got on really well with them in Tenerife, and we got on really well with them when we went and visited them. And just loads and loads of different stuff about how they're sort of moving into a bit more self-sustainability. They're running their own business. They've got like a glamping thing with alpacas. They keep alpacas and do yoga with them, and you can go and have coffee and cake with them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And all stuff like that is just great. But there's a couple of bits that actually really inspired me, was actually something that they're not even focused on. And it is the same as what you said about growing stuff and harvesting stuff and whatever, that they just dotted around. They've got random stuff planted. They're not even that interested in it, but like the night when they cooked for us, we had a few vegetables and stuff like that. And he was like, oh, yeah, here you go, homegrown squash.
Yeah.
Chuck that in. Just chuck it in the wok or whatever it was that we
Yeah.
did. And stuff like that. And the kids went around and just picked up like zucchinis out of the ground. They'd just grown a few zucchinis.
Yeah.
And they'd grown like, oh, yeah, there we've got some potatoes planted. Yeah, probably about ready to harvest them, actually. So, yeah. But they're not even, it wasn't even like a thing. It wasn't their focus or anything like that.
No.
It was just sort of like they had stuff dotted around, and it did motivate me and think like, this is what you can do if you've got your own land and in your own sort of place to grow stuff. You can just have stuff dotted around and whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And their main focus isn't even doing it. It's
No.
just like, we'll see if anything shows up.
Just plant stuff just because we've got the space for it,
Yeah.
and see what happens. And I really like that. I don't know, it did uplift me a little bit and sort of motivated me to think about the next chapter for us.
Yeah.
And one bit in particular that I wrote down in my notes was that night one of the guys gave me some hot sauce that his neighbour had given to him. Just like he'd grown his own hot sauce, grown his own hot sauce. Oh, I'm gonna fucking go.
I think that we're thinking about growing stuff in a different way. If you think that the hot sauce grows, what is it, a tree or a bush? Sure.
Yeah, he's got one of those hot sauce trees where they grow like just on jars. Yeah, you just go and pick a jar off the tree.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, it's got the lid on it
That is
and everything.
inspiring, actually.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
inspiring.
Yeah. He'd grown his own. What I was meant to say was he'd grown his own chili peppers, which I also didn't really know you could do in Sweden, to be honest.
Oh, really?
But why could you not?
We used
It
to
just
have
seems
chili
like a
peppers in
hot country sort of thing. I don't know.
We used to have chili peppers in the
Did you?
apartment.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, that shows me then. I've grown them myself. Good on me. Well done. Well done, me. I've forgotten more about growing chili peppers than you lot now.
You thought they came out with jars. That's why you didn't realise it
Yeah.
was chili peppers.
Well, there you go. But yeah, I don't know. That also sort of inspired me to think like all the stuff that you can do. It doesn't have to be just fruit and veg.
No.
And it was absolutely banging.
Yeah.
It was hot, let me say that. But it was fantastic. So I also felt very uplifted about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
This week.
Fun.
Ready to start the next chapter. It feels like exciting, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels weird that we're going to go travel first now.
Yeah. Yeah, we've talked about this next thing so much that it does feel odd that we've got like 6 months of travelling before that, all being well.
Yeah.
So obviously, like we said, we have got a few months of solid travelling first, hopefully.
Hopefully.
But we're still very much reminded that we're not all in the green, are we? We're not all completely clear.
No.
We're not all, let's say, travel fit
No.
and ready to go. For those of you who both listen to this podcast and watch the YouTube videos, this is a bit of an exclusive because you won't have seen it otherwise, maybe. Well, I suppose you put something on Instagram, didn't you? But one night last week, in the middle of the night, an ambulance came to pick you up, didn't it?
Yes.
Fun times.
Fun times.
You've been experiencing these pains on and off for a long time, haven't you? It's some sort of side effect from your operations or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit, nobody really knows and nobody really is bothered about looking into it. But I've been having these cramps every 3 weeks since May.
Pretty much.
And in maybe August, they prescribed me morphine, so I don't have to go to the A&E all the time.
Yeah.
Because it is not just, I got a bit of a stomach cramp. It's like, I can't stand up, don't know what my name is anymore, kind of pain. And it lasts for about, 8 to 10 hours. The worst bit.
Yeah.
Like before that, I have like 5 or 6 hours.
I was going to say there's a build-up period, isn't there?
Yeah.
But the main event is 10, 12 hours, isn't it?
Yeah. So they gave me morphine, and I've been taking that every 3 weeks. And last week it didn't work with the morphine.
No.
And they've said that if the 2 tablets don't work, then I need to go to the A&E. And I had these pains. They came on really, really fast. Went to bed, took 2 morphine tablets. Obviously fell asleep because I just took 2 morphine tablets.
Strange.
Yeah. Woke up at like 2 something. And I was in loads of pain, and I thought, I'm going to get up and move a bit. I'm going to go go for a wee, see maybe that helps it a little bit. Did the opposite. I got lightheaded, felt like I was going to be sick, thought I was going to faint, and then I just could not move after that.
Yeah.
And first I was like, oh, should I just push through it? Because they said that it's nothing dangerous. But then I thought, I can't be in this much pain when the kids wakes up.
Yeah.
It was like, what is the worst bit? Is it to be in this much pain when the kids wake up and they see me in this much pain, or is it to be gone?
Yeah.
And I thought it's better to be gone, to be honest.
Yeah.
So we had to ring an ambulance because obviously we can't drive with the kids sleeping
Yeah.
in the van.
Yeah.
And you almost have to call an ambulance when it's like that, because you can't, like, I can't go and sit in a waiting room.
You're going
Like,
to
I
sit in
need
the
to-
waiting room for 8 hours, and then by the time you finally get seen by a doctor, your pain's gone anyway.
Yeah. So you need to go straight in kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So all in all, not a fun experience. Obviously, it never is. And especially not fun because they don't seem to know what to do. Every time you go in, they give you morphine and scratch the heads for a few hours until it passes. This time you didn't even get morphine because you'd already took it at home.
Yeah. And it's like, this time I felt like they didn't even scratch their heads.
No.
They were like, well, we see in your journal that this is how it is. So stay for as long as you feel like you need to stay, and then you can go home. And it's like, what?
What's the point?
Yeah. And then I try to contact my doctors, and I feel like I don't really get a response there either. And it's just like, this is how it is. But now it's just been 2 weeks between.
Yeah.
And it's like getting closer together, and it just don't feel safe to travel when it's like this.
Yeah.
And it also brings a lot of anxiety because I feel like, what are they missing this time?
Yeah.
Because what we just said is like, well, first of all, it took 6 months before they found the cancer, because everybody just said, oh, this is how it is.
Probably
you're
nothing.
You're a young woman who just had a baby, nothing. And then last year I had these exact kind of cramps, but not as extreme, but still these exact cramps. Like I recognize the pain. And then in the end, they found the infection.
Yeah.
Where I had to go into the hospital for a full week in October. And now I'm just like, what have they missed this time? What is going to show up this time in October?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Because I recognize the pain. That's the frustrating bit. I keep saying, like, I'm like, it's exactly the same pain, so
Yeah.
it must be something wrong. And they're like, no, it's just scar tissue.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry. This is just how it is.
Yeah, and it's like you don't have the most confidence in the healthcare system anyway, do you?
I don't
Because
trust
they've-
anybody.
No, they've missed so many things and they've made so many mistakes along the way. And it's like, it's really hard to trust that they know what they're talking about with
Yeah.
stuff like this.
And it's draining. It's exhausting, because it's already exhausting to be getting these pains and everything around it, because it's just like you said, like, first of all, it's like almost a full day where it's just like the normal cramps and the pains. And then I take morphine on that, which means that I'm gone. And then the next day I'm hungover and achy still in pain, but not like extreme pain. And then it takes a couple of days to come back. But also it is traumatic to the kids.
Yeah.
Which means that it's also a few days for the kids to come back down and to stop them worrying.
Yeah.
Like, Charlie's been waking up 5 o'clock every morning to make sure that I'm still here,
Yeah.
because I wasn't there one day when he woke up. So then it's draining for that reason as well. And not just that he wakes up early, it's like he reacts. He acts up and he reacts to it, and just as he should do.
Yeah.
But it's hard for a 5-year-old to just say, like, I feel worried. It comes out in many different ways.
Yeah, in his own way, yeah.
Which is it's hard to look at, and it's hard to see, and it's hard to deal with. Not just because it's like he's hard to deal with. It's like hard to deal with because it's hard for all of us. And we're tired. Like, that night we slept 2 hours each.
Yeah.
And then it's like taking care of the kids for a full day.
Yeah, it's like you never get a chance to catch up, do you?
No.
That's the thing. So it's not just that night of being in pain. It's like the week after it when you're trying to play catch up.
Yeah. And then you also feel, like I said, I feel worried about what are they missing this time, and anxiety about what are they going to find, what if there's something wrong again, and what does that mean for this winter. And like, it's so many things that goes around your head that you feel like, I don't know, it's just really hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard mentally, and that also makes it really hard to get through the days and get through all of it, to be honest.
Yeah. It also taints like the positive things that we've got, because we've got positive things to look forward to. We've got travelling, which we've been excited for since we got back from travelling, pretty much. And now it's like, that's not just excitement anymore, is it?
No.
It's also anxiety.
Yeah.
It's also nervousness about like, well, what if it comes on again and it's so bad you have to go into the hospital, but we're no longer close to your team and we've got an added bonus that we're in Spain or something.
Don't speak the language.
Don't speak the language. You've got your contrast allergy that you'll have to try to explain to somebody who speaks English as a second language in your second language.
Yeah.
And it all of a sudden becomes a nervous thing to think about, really.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's difficult times, isn't it?
It is. It's not easy. Not easy at all. But it's just to get through it, as it is with everything. But that's the sad thing, I think. I feel like we always got this thing where it's like, it is what it is. It's just to get through it. But it's like, at some point, I just feel like I don't want to get through it anymore. I just want it sorted. I just don't want to be like, I'll get sorted somewhere down the line. Like, no, I just want somebody to hear me. I just want somebody to look at me and say, like, I can see you struggling. We're going to do this to help you. And not just like, this is how we could be. And not even checking the source. Like, they're not even like, this is how it could be. We're going to look into if this is what is happening. They're just like, this is how it could be, so just deal with it.
Yeah.
And nobody's actually looking at it.
No, exactly. It's the worrying thing, isn't it? Not really much else to say, is there? No. Fingers crossed it all works out all right.
Yeah.
But we'll figure it out, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We normally do. But we've got another month, at least, before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see, hey. Right, a bit of a downer there. We had a really strong, positive episode, and then the last, I don't know, few minutes probably was maybe a bit of a downer. So
yeah, but it's also our reality.
It's life, baby.
It is life.
You want to listen to a podcast about our lives, then you get both barrels, don't you?
Yeah.
You get the extreme positive and the extreme negative.
Yeah, exactly.
All at once.
All
wrapped up in a nice little package.
Yeah, that's what we're all about.
That's life on a stick, baby.
It is.
Right, speaking of wrapping things up, shall we wrap this one up?
Yes.
Thanks very much once again for listening.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm going to say again, because I thought it was really fun that people left a comment in the stick box. So please go in and go on to malinandtom.com
/podcast.
And just leave a message in the stick box about what you want us to chat about, or if you've got any questions for us or anything. Yeah, whatever.
Fires us up.
Yeah.
But also, we do read all the YouTube comments. We read the comments on Spotify. So if you've got questions and whatever, you can just leave them there as well. Yeah. But the stick box is quite a cool thing. So go and have a look.
If you leave it in the stick box, Tom will sing the stick song for you next time.
Not quite agreed to that one. But it would be cool. But while you are there, do head over to malinandtom.com and sign up for the newsletter. Keep yourself up to date on all the fun things that are happening. And yeah, it'd be nice to have you on board.
Yes, absolutely.
So follow us on Instagram at malinandtom. Get all your updates there. And until then, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.